The Boston Bruins win 5-3 over the now 0-4 Colorado Avalanche. There is a lot to unpack in this game, from Korpisalo looking great to then looking average 2 seconds later. Marchand missed some time due to spasms, according to Montgomery. Geeky and Brazeau are sat for Tufte and Jones. Poitras is asked to play with Tufte and Jones, then is rewarded for being benched in the third period for a bunch of shifts. Coyle with a redemption game, which was awesome to see, along with Lindholm. Pastrnak keeps on scoring, and the fourth line, as Monty said, I think we need to stop calling them the fourth line, played lights out. I will say I did not stay up for this game, as I'm fighting a nasty cold, as you can probably tell by my voice, and my kiddo gets up very early, so there will be no way I stay up for one of these late games. I'm not as young as I used to be. So buckle up, Bruins fans. I'm here to give you the latest info on your beloved Boston Bruins. If you've been liking my Bruins content, please leave me a like and subscribe. If you've already done so, thank you, and let's get into it. Going into this game, I wouldn't put this in a must-win category, but I felt this is one they needed to pull out for the win. Playing a slumping Avalanche team, coming off a very undisciplined loss to the defending Stanley Cup champs, a win would start the road trip off good. Montgomery started this one off with a bang by sitting both Geeky and Brazeau to put Tufte and Jones in the lineup. Geeky has not played well, so this one I understand, but I felt Brazeau had played a very solid game earlier in the season. But he became the odd man out. Montgomery gave the task to Matthew Poitras to play center between Jones and Tufte and do all the heavy lifting for that line. The issue I had with this is Poitras had been playing some good hockey, and you reward him by playing in between two guys I felt shouldn't even be on the roster. Tufte played a very undisciplined game, and in my previous video, I said he would be the odd man out, and I have no doubt he'll be the one sent to Providence when, in fact, they signed Johnson. I still think Jones doesn't belong on this roster as well, but Monty, for some reason, likes him and keeps saying he brings something unique to the lineup. I seriously have no clue what he's talking about, but I will continue to look for it. In the first period, the Bruins have some pep in their steps and come out flying to give the Avalanche some trouble and tilt the ice in their favor. And Korpisalo makes an amazing stop on Miles Wood on a breakaway that gives the Bruins more life when they started to sleep, just a tiny bit. The line of Coyle, Marchand, and Frederic looks to give some sustained pressure, and Frederic makes the line look much better than when they had Geeky on it. The line looks to have flow, and Coyle looked to have his legs under him. Of course, though, the fourth line gets Boston on the board first with a sweet tip from Koepke, and Boston is up 1-0. Peak decides to put the puck on the net and see what happens, and Koepke tips it up top on Georgiev, barely who had time to react. Colorado answers shortly after, though, with a power play goal, which Colorado had the Bruins chasing the whole PK, and it's 1-1. The Bruins PK, which was the strength last season, did not look good against Colorado and could have cost them the game. They will need to address this in their next practice. Charlie Coyle, who had been called out by Monty days before for his struggling play, looked rejuvenated and had his legs under him. Mason Lohrei, who had sat a couple games ago but had played like the guy we saw in the playoffs since, makes a sweet pass to Coyle, cross ice, and he redirects it in for his first of the year, and it's 2-1 Boston. Lohrei made this goal happen with his vision, but almost goes offside when making an extra move on his zone entry. Lohrei brought all the defenders' eyes and bodies on him and let Coyle sneak in behind everyone for a sweet power play goal by the Bruins. By the end of the first, the Bruins look to have life and are playing with pace and do not look like the same team that we saw against Florida previously. The second period starts with what we expect from the Boston Bruins, unfortunately, though, and that is a slow start to the second period. But Korpisalo comes up big for them with some key saves to keep them in the game as the Avalanche apply a lot of pressure. The Bruins really need to figure out what it's about in their second period starts that they can't wrap their heads around. The Bruins are on the power play, and David Pastrnak decides to take it upon himself to almost do everything. He makes a great move to get inside space on an Avalanche defender, causing another penalty, which would have put Colorado down 2 men, but he doesn't give up on the play after being tripped. And Lindholm makes a sweet cross-crease pass, finding a streaking Pastrnak who pops in his 4th goal in 5 games to start the year on the power play. Second power play goal of the game, and I felt the team needed these as the power play had been silent in previous games and looked out of rhythm. The Bruins are now up 3-1. 13 seconds later, Lindholm, who had been taking it on the chin by fans on social media for his play, decides to silence them with a seeing eye shot from the point to put the Bruins up 4-1. It's very early into the season, but for some reason, last game, there was a lot of ire from fans towards Lindholm that I didn't feel was warranted, but glad he had a great game against the Avalanche. Cal McCarr, though, who told the media in Colorado he hadn't been good enough, had a game, and he was one of the best players on the ice and gets a goal right back for Colorado, making it 4-2 on the power play. Again, the PK was not good enough tonight. Not too long after that, though, Mikko Rantanen takes what I thought was a routine shot on Korpisalo, but it goes in and it's 4-3. I felt this one was a little soft and would have liked Korpisalo to have this one. It wasn't on a tough angle and he had a clear view of it, so I'm not sure why he didn't have this one. Rantanen is an elite talent, so I guess I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. Korpisalo played a very good game, and I felt he was cutting down his angles, squaring to the shooters, but let a couple questionable goals in. He makes some amazing saves as well and kept the Bruins in the game early on. Colorado pulls their goalie to get the extra attacker, and Monty shows his confidence in Beecher by letting him stay out there in a very important defensive situation. Beecher rewards Monty's decision with his second of the year, and the Bruins steal the game with an empty net goal, putting them up 5-3 to end the game. In that third period, though, Monty decides to sit Poitras. Now, it could be because of the blindsided hit he took, and maybe they wanted to be cautious. Zadorov came into his defense and dropped the mitts, but it was more of a wrestling match than a fight. I didn't see any reason for Poitras to have this ice time limited, as he was the only one on his line playing with pace and doing anything offensive. His line mates of Jones and Tufte did not look good, but seemed to be rewarded with more ice time as Poitras took a seat. This one's a head scratcher to me, and we didn't get an explanation after the game.
Yeah, I think that's the best team game we've had so far this year, and I thought it was a complete 60-minute effort. You know, they're a really good team, and they're going to have their moments, but I thought that really liked our poise.
You said Charlie yesterday, Coyle was maybe not up to speed yet. He seemed like he came out with permission.
Yeah, his legs were great. He was winning battles. He was doing an excellent job in all three zones for us. It was Charlie Coyle we all know and love.
Late in the game, we give him the fourth line, really important minutes. Just how key have they been for you?
Well, I think we got to stop calling them fourth line. I mean, it's impressive the way they've been playing, and they're earning all the ice time they're getting, and their details, their work ethic, their puck support of one another offensively and defensively is allowing them to have tremendous success.
Sorry, how vital is it for the team that they've been able to earn your trust here early in the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always been a coach that you go out and you play the right way and you're showing effort and execution, you're going to get rewarded with ice time. And, you know, we got to continue to build that throughout the lineup. What's that?
Got to ask Brad left a little bit. Is he okay?
Oh, Brad's fine. Yeah, yeah, just a spasm.
Korpisalo had some highlight reel stops tonight. What did you think of his night?
Well, I think, you know, he allows us to get our feet into the game under us by that great save on Wood's breakaway early in the first 2 minutes. And then he just kept making big-time saves, you know, towards throughout the game, and especially in the third.
Your power play clicked a couple of times. I want to ask you specifically about Mason's pass on Charlie's goal.
Yeah, very similar, both goals, right? Backdoor tap-ins. Real good entries, real good breakouts with speed that allowed us to have success at the crease.
How important was that follow-up ship afterward to get that goal from Lindholm?
Yeah, and that's the part of, you know, the identity of that Castellic line is after we get scored against or we got a goal for, their job, and I've told them that's before the season started, is I want them to get the momentum back for us or continue the momentum.
I don't know what it is, but I disagree with Monty on this one for some reason. He likes what Jones brings, and I just don't see it. Hopefully we get some explanation from what happened in the future. I'm also hoping that this is the last we see of Jones and Tufte for a while, because I think I'm done with them. Marchand didn't start the third, and Monty said it was about spasms and nothing to worry about. Marchand would be back on the bench, though. All in all, a good effort from the Bruins against a usually tough Colorado team, and no better way to start a Western road trip, but with a win. I was very happy to see Coyle and Hampus have such good games, and with them going, it makes the Bruins that much harder to play against. We shouldn't call them the fourth line remains to be dominant on the ice, and I expect all three of them to set career highs this season. The Bruins' next game is on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time against the Utah Hockey Club, who are red hot and playing some great hockey. It will be no easy win for the Bruins. That's a wrap on today's video. To stay up to date on all news surrounding the Boston Bruins, please subscribe and drop me a like. If news breaks surrounding the Boston Bruins, be sure to check out the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, thank you, and I'll see you next time.